Hello everyone, today we'll read the Harry Potter episode Sorcerer's Stone. The Shouters. Ron and everyone in the distance jumping up and down, Ron cheering through a heavy nosebleed. Harry had reached the shed. He leant against a wooden door and looked out at Hogwarts with its windows glowing red in the setting sun. Gryffindor in the lead. He'd done it. He'd shown Snap. And speaking of Snap, a hooded figure came swiftly down the front steps of the castle. Clearly not wanting to be seen, it walked as fast as possible towards the forbidden forest. Harry's victory faded from his mind as he watched. He recognized the figure's prowling walk, Snap sneaking into the forest while everyone else was at dinner. What was going on? Harry jumped back on his Nimbus 2000 and took off. Gliding silently over the castle, he saw Snap enter the forest that they ran. He followed. The trees were so thick. He couldn't see where Snap had gone. He flew in circles, lower and lower, brushing the top branches of the trees until he heard voices. He glided towards them and landed noiselessly in a towering beech tree. He climbed carefully along one of the branches, holding tight to his broomstick, trying to see through the leaves. Below in a shadowing clearing stood Snap, but he wasn't alone. Quirrell was there too. Harry couldn't make out the look on his face, but he was stuttering worse than ever. Harry strained to catch what they were saying. Don't know why you wanted to meet here of all places. Severus. Oh, I thought we'd keep this private, said Snap, his voice icy. Students aren't supposed to know about the Sorcerer's Stone after all. Harry leaned forward. Quirrell was mumbling something. Snap interrupted him. Have you found out how to get past that beast of Hagrid's yet? But Severus, you don't want me as your enemy, Quirrell, said Snap, taking step towards him. I don't know what to. You know perfectly well what I mean. An owl hooted loudly, and Harry nearly fell out of the tree. He steadied himself in time to hear Snap say, "Your little bit of hocus pocus, I'm waiting, but I don't very well," Snap cut in. We'll have another little chat soon when you've had time to think things over and decided where your lawyer ties lie. He threw his cloak over his head and strode out of the clearing. It was almost dark now, but Harry could see Quirrell standing quite still as though he was petrified. Harry, where have you been? Her one sweet. We won. You won. We won, shouted Ron, thumping Harry on the back. And I gave Malfoy a black eye, and Neville tried to take on Crabbe and Goyle single-handed. He's still out cold, but Madame Pomfrey says He'll be alright. Talk about showing Slytherin. Everyone's waiting for you in the common room. We're having a party. Fred and George stole some cakes and stuff from the kitchens. Never mind that now, said Harry breathlessly. Leslie, let's find an empty room. You wait till her hear this. He made sure Peeves wasn't inside before shutting their door behind them. Then he told them what he'd seen and heard. So we were right. It is Philosopher's Stone, and Snape's trying to force Quirrell to help him get it. He asked if he knew how to get past Fluffy, and he said something about Quirrell's hocus pocus. I read Ron. There are other things wording the stone apart from Fluffy louse up. Instruments probably, and Quirrell would have done some anti-dark art spell which Snape needs to break through. So, you mean the stone's only safe as long as Quirrell stands up to Snape? Said Harry in alarm. It'll be gone by next Tuesday, said Ron. Norbert, the Norwegian ridgeback. Quirrell, however, must have been braver than they'd thought. In the weeks that followed, he did seem to be getting paler and thinner, but it didn't look as though he'd cracked yet. Every time they passed the third floor corridor, Harry, Ron, and Hermione would press their ears to the door to check that Fluffy was still growling inside. Snape was weeping about in his usual bad temper, which surely meant that the stone was still safe whenever Harry passed Quirrell these days. He gave him an encouraging sort of smile, and Ron had started telling people off for laughing at Quirrell's stutter. Hermione, however, had more on her mind than the Philosopher's Stone. She had started drawing up revision timetables and color-coding all her notes. Harry and Ron wouldn't have minded, but she kept nagging them to do the same. Hermione, the exams are ages away. 10 weeks. Hermione snapped. That's not ages, that's like the second to Nicholas Flamel. But we're not 600 years old. Ron reminded her. Anyway, what are you revision for? You already know it all. What am I revision for? Are you mad? You realize we need to pass these exams to get into the second year? They're very important. I should have started studying a month ago. I don't know what's gone into me. Unfortunately, the teachers seemed to be thinking along the same lines as Hermione. They piled so much homework on them that the Easter holidays weren't nearly as much fun as the Christmas ones. It was hard to relax with Hermione next to you, reciting the 12 uses of Dragon's Blood or practicing wand movements, mounting and Then Harry and Ron spent most of their free time in the library with her, trying to get through all their extra work. I will never remember this. Ron burst out one afternoon, throwing down his quill and looking longingly out of the library window. It was the first really fine day they'd had in months. The sky was a clear forget-me-not blue, and there was a feeling in the air of summer coming. Harry, who was looking up Disney in 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi, didn't look up until he heard Ron say, "Hagrid, what are you doing in the library?" Hagrid shuffled into view, hiding something behind his back. He looked very out of place in his moleskin overcoat. "Just looking," he said, in a shifty voice that got their interest at once. "And what are you locked up to?" He looked suddenly suspicious, yet not still looking for Nicholas Flamel, are ya? "Oh, we found out who he is ages ago," said Ron impressively, "and we know what that dark wording is a philosopher's." Shh. Hagrid looked around quickly to see if anyone was listening. "Don't go shouting about it. What's the matter with ya?" "There are a few things we wanted to ask you, as a matter of fact," said Harry, "about what's guarding the stone apart from Fluffy." "Shh," said Hagrid again. "Listen, come and see me later. I'm not promising I'll tell you anything, mind, but don't go rabbiting about it in here. Students aren't supposed to know. Don't think I've told you. See you later, then," said Harry. Hagrid shuffled off. What was he hiding behind his back? said Hermione thoughtfully. "Did you think it had anything to do with the stone?" "I'm going to see what section he was in," said Ron, who'd had enough of working. He came back a minute later with a pile of books in his arms and slammed them down on the table. "Dragons," he whispered. Hagrid was looking up stuff about dragons. "Look at this. Dragon species of Great Britain and Ireland. From egg to inferno, a dragon keeper's good." Hagrid always wanted to dragon. "He told me so the first time I ever met him," said Hagrid. "But it's against our laws," said Ron. "Dragon breeding was outlawed by the World-Class Convention of 1709. Everyone knows that. It's hard to stop ghosts noticing us if we're keeping dragons in the back garden. Anyway, you can't tame dragons. It's dangerous. You should see the birds Charlie's got of white ones in Romania, but there aren't white dragons in Britain," said Harry. "Of course there are," said Ron. "Common Welsh green, and He breathed blacks. The Ministry of Magic was a job hushing them up. I can tell you, I will not have to keep putting spells on muggles we've spotted them to make them forget. So what on earth Hagrid up to? Said Hermione when they knocked on the door of the gamekeeper's Hunden hour later. They were surprised to see that all their curtains were closed. Harry called, "Who is it?" before he let them in and then shut the door quickly behind them. It was stiflingly hot inside. Even though it was such a warm day, there was a blazing fire in the grate. Hagrid made them tea and offered them stout sandwiches, which they refused. "So you wanted to ask me something?" "Yes," said Hagrid. There was no point beating about the bush. We were wondering if Bill could tell us what's guarding the Philosopher's Stone apart from Fluffy. Hagrid frowned at him. "Of course, I can't," he said. "Number one, I don't know myself. Number two, yeah, not much already. So I